their own little bubble, and I don't think we'll be seeing much of that activity down towards the bottom lane.
Okay.
I want to start looking though at how FPX can start to win out once they, if they can get themselves rolling in this game. Doinby off in the side lane alongside Gimgoon on this Renekton. They can then start this 1-3-1 split push.
We return to Summoner's Rift. A Game 1 win from JDG puts the momentum on them, while FPX the world champions. Down a game means they need to step it up here in the semi-finals. Who will be facing up against top esports? That decision being made here tonight as we return for Game 2.
So we already touched on FPX, this potential 1-3-1 into rotations from Doinby thanks to his ultimate, or Gimgoon on the flank. However, though, when we look over at JDG, they have a fantastic mid-game composition where you can use the strengths of Kanavi on this Trundle, building up a lot of stats off that Subjugate, with Yagao and Loken hitting their strengths off of 1 to 2 items and try and punish anyone that gets caught out on the FPX side.
I mean, you look towards Yagao, look at this rune taken in lane, the Comet. He wants to be dominant while Doomby goes back to phase rush here. Of course, we don't see Aftershock Rise anymore because of how hard it is to enable it through the rune prison, but Dagda, Kanavi, and Zoom see a Gimgoon. They're going to start this invade off onto the blue buff.
And now they can look to split the map. We talked Kanavi playing towards Zoom. Well, they're going to double down on that now. Kanavi steals away. Blue will wander over towards this Gromp. Yes, Tian will get the Wolves, but that's not what Kanavi really cares about.
And then we come back, and I know you're talking about topside here for Tien and how it can stop Kanavi. Is a bit of an engage down the bottom side. That's not going to mean much for 2 Aftershock supports. But Tien then, if he's towards the bottom side, if he's splitting the map himself, well, hello old style of FPX.
True, but Loken and Lumao are already kind of expecting this. They are letting the wave push into them. But again, that's where it can get a little bit dangerous when we do see these dives. But Hysterics, you were showing your apathetics a little bit. With Doinby being pushed in by Yagao, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for him to get access at these early levels to make the plays towards the bottom.
Especially when Trundle and Syndra is such an oppressive duo, right? Pillar goes up and you're put against a wall. And if done well, it's just like the Syndra has free access.
Gimgoon taking a really bad trade right now. Gimgoon will eventually get control of this lane where he has full access to his kit and he hits that level 4, level 5. But at this level 1, level 2, this lane is very Zoom dominated on this set. So Gimgoon unfortunately set a little bit behind, but can heal up as this goes on.
But watch Kanavi, he's coming towards his blue side. There's nothing there anymore. Gromp here. Smite now comes down. Tien picks it up, but now he has to make the escape route. Does he have a ward available? Yes, he does. Wants to get over the wall. Good safeguard there before Lumao hops the anchor into it.
So Tien's made his roam down towards this bottom side. The problem here, though, is the wave is pushing in the bottom, so he can't try and contest for Scuttle. Now Tien is making this roam across towards mid to secure the top lane Scuttle for himself. So it could be that maybe Tien is able to pick up both, but will end up backing away as Yagao starts to fade in towards that top side brush, meaning that FPX know they've been spotted.
Raids have stopped up here as well. They've gone the other way with Gimgoon pushing out Zoom, but you know that Set has the HP regen in his kit. I want to come back though because Chris was roaming up as well, but a really well-placed ward from JDG to spot them out means Yagao can toy around with that in the mid lane. He continues pushing, and now that Kanavi's there, it's good times ahead.
And as Kanavi picks up the Scuttle, because of the roam from Crisp, Lumao and Loken can shove in. He gets 1 Scuttle, and it's actually going to be Kanavi who's able to pick up both of these Scuttles. So once again, Kanavi getting an early lead off of these jungle camps, and Tien being left on the back foot.
We'll have to see what he can do in this series because already we're looking more towards Kanavi and his performance that started off here in game number 1. He's up towards the top side yet again, going back to Tien's jungle just to go for the secondary clip.
And this is what we saw in our little bit of video before the games, was why we talk about Kanavi being a carry versus Tien being more of a supportive role. Even though Tien plays these early game carries, he's more focused on trying to get his laners ahead, with Crisp and Tien roaming towards mid to try and set up for Doinby. But Kanavi's more focused on these jungle camps, and it's how he gets his leads. He's the highest CS as a jungler in the LPL, and he's got a 280 gold lead at 15 minutes on average.
And he's just making Tien run across the map. Tien wants to challenge and make sure that he can pick up some of his own camps, but he's left with the scraps. Kanavi picking up the Wolf camp in a CS lead, as you can see.
And now you've got the opportunity here for Knavi to go down towards this bottom side of the map if he wants. Yigao has just backed and has the teleport available. They can try and make a play on the bottom side and then move in towards this dragon. Or they can do the JDG special, which is play towards Zoom.
Yeah. You're already thinking about it. Knavi actually going to be heading towards mid. Pings are going down while Tien behind enemy lines taking Krugs himself. So we are going to be tracking the junglers for quite a lot here in this early game. And Doomby with that ward, enabling a bit more vision here for FPX.
He was looking to try and get a roam off towards topside there. Because Yigao had backed and then come into the lane again, that was the one opportunity Doomby had to shove in that wave. But now, where Yigao has come back into lane, shoving in himself, JDG feel comfortable in picking up the first dragon in the game.
Especially with Lumao and Loken just getting a bit of a push here and equalizing the bottom lane. So early start again here for JDG in the form of about 300 gold plus the Ocean Dragon to kick things off.
So nice start here for JDG. We're still seeing gold as all even at the moment. We aren't seeing the big diversity in CS numbers that we saw coming into game number 1. So we'll have to look and see now if this fighting is really what's going to crack open the lead for either of these teams.
I was going to say, the fact that Doomby even has a bit of CS, like the fact that Doomby is up there with Yigao is important as okay, that's Dominus, and also the ultimate, the showstopper for Zoom, might stop the show for him in the top lane. He's going to flash away, and now Gimgun says howdy.
And especially with Doinby roaming towards this topside, Zoom could be in trouble. Lumao is backed and roamed topside, though. This hasn't been spotted by FPX, so a dive could be a little bit precarious right now.
If he goes in to try, he will, though. There's, of course, that little bit of cheap vision, but now with the control ward down, Gimgun says, okay, someone else is up here. And
there is a little trick you can do with control wards where if you click on them fast enough and hover them, you can see who placed them. So they will know that it's Lumao that has been spotted on this top side, so FPX will realize the numbers advantage is in favor of JDG, especially with just a minute towards Rift Herald. JDG would love to make a play on this top side.
Crisp has roamed up as well. Over the wall is Gimgun. He doesn't have Dominus. Realmwall's going to come in, but Scatter the Weak here slows him down. Now some early fighting. 10 goes in as well. Doomby flashes. They're looking for Knavi, but first blood over to JDG. Now FPX without the man advantage are going to drop as well. Zooms this time is the one who says, JDG, go. Sick him. It's a crocodile we need to kill. And Lumao with a great dredge line will pick up his second kill of the game.
JDG do an amazing job to find success in that fight. And it all sparks off of Knavi picking up those double scuttles in the early game, gives him the level 6 advantage over Tien. So when FPX all jump on towards the Trundle, he's too tanky, too much regen, they can't finish off the troll, and JDG turn the fight.
But hang on, Crisp has flash available, but a great pillar as Knavi picks up the blue buff as well. Again, flexing over Tien here in this series. Now with the 20 CS lead yet again.
So you can see here, everyone jumps on towards Trundle. Still level 5, but when that first kill comes through onto Doinby, ticks to level 6, then gets the level advantage to get the Subjugate, and that's what made such a big difference here. And Subjugate is incredibly strong when you can focus onto one target, which is exactly what JDG do here. No split calls, it's focus onto Doinby, get rid of the Rise, he's the main source of damage, and then they can turn onto Tien and Gimgun.
Zoom's face breaker there was legendary. That was great to watch. Picks up 3 people in the stun, remember, when you have an enemy on each side of that E ability. Means they stay in place, and stay in place FPX did, as they were stunned by JDG's early gameplay yet again. But this time with early kills, the momentum's already begun. It's a big 2k gold lead here at 8 minutes, and now Zoom started taking control back at this lane.
And the entirety of JDG are taking over. You can see bottom lane is pushing in aggressively. They want to start getting vision in this river for the dragon that's up in 2 minutes. And as well, Yigao picking up this blue buff will mean the pushing aggressively in this mid lane will start to go heavily in favor of JDG, and they again have more access to the map.
He'll be now moving up though after pushing in the mid wave. This is what we wanted to see, but can he execute anything up in that top side against Zoom, who doesn't have his flash available? It seems like no. He started walking and decided to go back as the wave wasn't in position.
Zoom is playing this really well, playing far back, realizing that Gimgun doesn't have his flash, so as long as he remains at a slice and dice range, there's no real aggression that can come through from FPX. Knavi, though, spotted on this bottom side, so instead, FPX will turn over towards this Rift Herald.
Scuttle for Scuttle, or rather big Scuttle in the form of Rift Herald here, started by Tien. Well, all that control comes through and all the vision control towards that top side really enabled this. So at least FPX this time around are getting something, because it seemed like they've already been shut out by JDG, and they need something big to pull back this early game.
And the thing here is that JDG had already backed away, expecting to move towards this Rift Herald, but slightly too late to the play. So it means they don't have Loken in a position to push on towards this bottom side with Lumao when Chris roams up. So no turret plates traded for this objective.
Okay, important to note. LWX going to be sitting down here by himself. Aphelios singing it out with the wave. As I'm looking towards time as Dagda. 30 seconds till this dragon coming up. Also note that the Rift Herald in the hands of TN has often been placed down to start the dragon.
And if I'm FPX, I don't want to try and fight for this dragon. We're waiting for a later game scenario where Aphelios has picked up his crit items. You've got Doinby, who's going to be working through a lot of his items as well. And that's when you'll see FPX be at their strongest. Right now, JDG with access to the bullet time, the unleashed power, they will quickly win out in these dragon fights.
That was blind. Yagao just knew that Doinby's going to be backing somewhere away. Stops his back. And now Dragon, no matter what they were thinking, is definitely going to be JDG.
Especially with Zoom backing away, he's got the teleport available. Just started that Cutlass, or just finished that Cutlass even, so now JDG are starting to look towards Zoom in a more of a split push capacity. They want him to be able to fight against Gimgoon. The first steps in that is getting this Blade of the Rune King. But this is a long road for Zoom to try and overcome, because this matchup doesn't really start to turn around until much later in the game. You're talking about that 25-minute mark.
But at least with that kill, he can get there sooner, right? We've already seen the Cutlass, as you mentioned there before, so we'll keep our eyes peeled towards the top lane builds, as Doinby is going to be TPing only back to wave. He's got the Rod of Ages now, so he'll start stacking that one away. And I guess if we're talking about Doinby, in game one, the Kassadin had its potential. It got to the late game point, but could never triumph over JDG. Here, this game seems a bit more stable, but yet again, we're at a point where JDG are controlling this early game, and we need to see what the Herald does to pull FPX back in.
Well, FPX have an easier job of trying to enact their game plan, but we are going to wait and see as TN.
Okay,
they're starting to make a play.
This is part of the game plan then, Dagda, as we
Definitely is. We talked about playing through Gimgoon on this top side, shutting down Zoom early, and that's what FPX are trying to do here.
At least to zone him away with turret blading going down. I mean, that's important. The solo lane is finding a bit of a lead. Yagao. He says, let's go towards the top side. Lumao and Kanavi slowly roaming up as well. Herald going to be dropped here. Yagao looking to poke them down, but turret almost goes down, but the plating, that's the important part here. But no first turret yet taken in the game.
But it's being traded by Kanavi in the mid lane, so Kanavi on this trundle will get a lot of resources for himself.
Got
but
a lot already.
It's more important that it's going towards Gimgoon and Doinby. These are the guys who really want to see starting to shine on FPX. So we talked about what the game plan from FPX is. Well, it is getting Gimgoon ahead, but also looking towards these flanks and team fights. And that's why I think this time around, FPX have an easier time to do so. Okay. When you don't have Zoom on this gangplank, you don't have this great kite back ability on JDG's end of things. They don't have the Chains of Corruption. Loken is not able to provide as much disengage. This is where FPX in a flanking position can do a lot more work, just because JDG can't get back as easily.
When we don't go to 40 minutes in the game where Zoom is a GP who's been farming for 40 straight minutes as well, I think is going to make a very different dynamic, especially for Gimgooners. We are just looking across the Rift because turret plating, ladies and gentlemen, will be disappearing in 30 seconds. But I want you to keep your eyes on some important timers. We've got the third dragon and the Rift element here this game as the mountain up in 2 minutes 30. FPX right now, obviously there's no priority over that, but they're hiding between Vision, looking for Yagao, who puts down a good ward.
Will dodge away from the Sonic Wave, but Crisp is here.
They're going to flash forward. Yagao matches. Doinby wants to go at him.
Yagao faster with the flash than Doinby was with the Rune Prison, so Yagao just about managing to escape, but you can see again FPX wanting to roam towards Doinby, get this guy unlocked. Super carry Doinby is how FPX have started to get their leads in so many scenarios, but hasn't been able to work so hot for them in this series.
You go through turret plating on the bottom of your screen as Realm War's going to come up. We don't have time for that because Dominus using the top lane. Showstopper is available for Zoom as well as Flash. He's trying to use it to get on out, but Doinby's not going to give him the pathway. Flash again, still available, but Zoom looking to turn this into a 1 versus 2. Gimgoon dodges it though. Nicely done here. He survives and Doinby picks up his first kill.
Zoom tried to call it. He tried to figure out where Gimgoon was going to dice to, but unfortunately doesn't read him well enough. Now Doinby unlocked in the top lane with picked up first turret for FPX.
250 gold in the back pocket. That first turret you mentioned, 500 gold. Now the difference here will be depending on if Loken can find this turret, which, yes, he will. So it'll kind of go back to 1,000 gold, but FPX is starting to claw their way back into this one. Keep resources, as you said before, Dagda, on the people they need.
And Doinby is calling on the world to ban away this Rise. This has been his pocket pick for so long. Haven't seen a huge amount of it in the Spring Split, but now coming into our playoffs, it is solidified win after win for FPX. Now Doinby, having gotten out of this mid lane, is helping Game2 in the top side. First tower goes down. Now he can start to have more activity around the map and see if he can again continue this streak forward for FPX.
Also, like I said in Game 1, the build that was started out of nowhere, where Doinby came on in, as you can see by that cloth armor, was the Righteous Glory third here on the Rise. Doinby is the person that made famous this big third item power spike that makes the Rise super fast here with the phase rush.
I think he's actually going towards Ninja Tabi with this cloth armor, but I don't fully agree with it. I'm going to hang on for one moment here.
Okay, I'm with you. I'll hang as well.
So I would actually prefer to see the Merc Threads in this scenario, not because there's as much CC, that's not really the big call, there's a good bit there, but it's more Kanavi will steal away those stats, so the use you get out of the Ninja Tabi isn't as high, and Doinby needs to run away from the CC.
But I'm going to have to interrupt you, Dagda, because a kick out here for Kanavi in the pit. Dragon is secured. The depth charge going to be used for a 3-man knockup. JDG still want to follow as the death sentence lands here. LWX poking them away, and Yagao looking over as Lumao flashes over the wall. Kanavi's going to be Sonic Wave. Remember, no kick available. The showstopper with the bullet time. The face breaker almost kills. LWX with the comet survives. Oh my god, JDG are ruthless, and FPX are lucky they got out.
And that's the engages we talked about from Zoom. The facebreaker nearly takes down LWX. He will escape with just an inch of his life, but now JDG can get this mid lane turret, fall back towards that Rift Herald, although FPX will be looking to stomp their way back onto the map and refight for that objective.
Now that was the mosh pit, Dagda. That's what we're talking about, and the coordination in it is quite incredible to watch. So even though JDG don't find the kill, as you're also mentioning there, the push on the turret, however, not taken down just yet.
And it's JDG using their early game lead in that mosh pit to be bigger than FPX so they can bully them around. However, not quite big enough yet, FPX to escape. Now we look towards this Rift Herald with no showstopper available, no subjugate available for Kanavi. We'll have to see how they're going to face up.
Well, he's walking into River. Christmas here. Death Sentence lands yet again. The box is down with the play. He flashes away as Doinby pokes him in. On the Rift Herald, it looks like FPX aren't going to get contested while Chris is zoning them away. But Zoom coming in for a massive flank yet again. Facebreaker flashed away from him. He doesn't have his ulti. 200 years worth of shurikens into Kanavi on the backside. But FPX gets the objective, and once again on low health bars, managed to get away.
They needed to find engage onto a key carry like LWX or Doinby. JDG were trying to fight using the unleashed power from Yagao that was still available, but weren't quite able to do it.
I don't think we've seen that interaction before. No. I totally forgot. If she can do it with Heimerdinger turrets, why can't she do it with the Felios turrets? As Yagao's probably sick of the champion as well.
I have never seen that interaction.
I have never met someone, like anyone in our gorgeous chat at the moment, that has said that a Felios does not feel like 200 years worth of pain and misery. But I'm going to drop it there. I know, like, I apologize. I do this a lot as JDG. This is good. Pushing the turret. They're now up by about 3,000 gold.
But it's going to spend more. I mean, Zoom's pushing in this top lane. You do have Game2 here to try and help, but the second he shows, JDG will go.
And he's locked up. Christmas dead. Walking up to the turret, the disrespect. Okay.
And that's a... Oh,
hang on, we're going to have to pause here. Tien goes in, he wants to kick flash, but he can't manage to find it. On top of Loken, Scatter the Weak going to miss as well. They've found the support, as now Game2 is going to be running it as well on top of Yagao. It's 3 versus 4 in the mid lane, but they've peeled off. Doinby splashed in. A double kill for the Rise. Make it a triple from 0 to hero. Now for the 4-on-1 Rise.
Game2 makes the great call of sacking the top lane turret to get the fight in the mid. Now at Rift Herald, they can crack open this tier 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they push forward on towards the tier 2, but with the Baron up in 35 seconds, they want to back away, spend their gold, and make sure that they're on the map to make sure they're not losing the purple worm.
But we're at a point now at 19 minutes in the game where Doinby is fed. Doinby's absolutely fed. Talk about the Baron coming up. The Rift Herald as it gets another charge. Also reminds me of the other objective in the Dragon it started with Chris just getting destroyed.
So look at everything JDG used in that engage though. You've got depth charge, bullet time, unleash power gone. So FPX isn't worried about being burst out, so he's able to go in aggressively. Gimgoon, we talked about sacking that tower and roaming over. Fantastic call from Gimgoon. Sets up the rest of this play here, and no kite back for JDG in this game as easily. They're able to get picked off by the chasing members of FPX.
Even in skirmishes, right? We talked about Gimgoon being the, one of the better team fighting top laners. Oh, sorry, one of the best team fighting top laners here in the LPL. Also great at skirmishing, as you can see. They're good positioning from the top laner, who this time around actually gets to play more League of Legends. Even being 0, 1, and 3 here with the Black Cleaver versus that Blade of the Ruined King set, as you're looking at them now on the side lane.
So let's talk about the 1-3-1. Oh, hang on, Zoom. Looking for a fight.
Now we're definitely talking about them. Dominant's going to be used into the wall for the showstopper. The slice and dice out of there. Ult for ult here.
Want to look at Doinby though. He's the big carry right now for FPX, and he's the one who's split pushing off in this top lane. So Gimgoon, yes, was bullied out by Zoom in that scenario, but still it's going to be Gimgoon favored for the moment.
We're going to the mid lane because TP, FPX say it's time to fight again. Gimgoon has home guards, but that ain't going to be a flank. Instead, 5 people are mid while Zoom's pushing. Zoom with no TP. Baron's on the menu.
Zoom has got to walk. He doesn't have the teleport up and available. FPX now trying to draw Zoom out of that bottom lane successfully. But as long as JDG can force FPX back, they can turn towards Dragon.
Their center's onto the support once again. He's going to use the stone play, but knocked on up. Crisp is dead once again, but is his life worth it? 4 versus 5 with Zoom now joining the play.
The difference here, though, is that Zoom is here for JDG's fight. It's 5 versus 4, which will turn it JDG favored. Now JDG can crack open this mid lane turret. But look at the pings. FPX are looking to call themselves and go towards Baron.
Did they walk over ward? I don't think so.
No.
Gimgoon is moving back to the mid lane. There's 4 people, rather 3 here for FPX. Kanavi over the side's going to drop a ward at 6k. FPX need to back away from this one. Doinby really greeds it though, Scatter the Weak. Going to get him to half health, but he survives. And almost gets punished hard.
Zoom is able to solo out this Dragon. Blade of the Ruined King means he'll be, well, already going to be fine. It's not exactly tough for a top laner to take that down, but JDG do a good job of calling FPX, because a lot of teams don't realize when FPX is making one of these cheeky plays. JDG, though, got wise to it and will be able to get them away.
Gimgoon wants to go over the wall here. Zoom, however, has control of this Dragon as a smite, so no way, Jose. JDG 1 mountain away from Soul here in this game. While FPX finally reset, and after all is said and done, JDG now hold the cards in this game once again. We return to the mid lane.
And we said that this is when JDG are at their strongest, the 2-item point. You've got the Ludens and Oblivion Orb there for Yagao. You've got the Essence Reaver and the Infinity Edge for Loken. These are the main components that you want for this JDG mid-game team fight. So JDG looking to extend at the moment, but as long as FPX can keep these side lanes in check, make sure that Yagao and Zoom aren't able to properly join in to set up for the likes of Loken, well, then FPX can get to the late game where they can win out.
Let me reiterate as well, of course, but JDG go towards Soul point. We get to the point where, okay, if JDG can extend this mid-game of theirs that you talk so heavily about, then with that extra tankiness on members like the Trundle, the Set, the Nautilus, it's going to be pretty influential to find these fights and survive longer, just to be frank.
Especially for the likes of Zoom, who wants to try and get multiple haymakers off in these fights. He gets so much use out of these shields. We'll have to see, though, if he's going to be able to get to that stage, though, as you can see Kanavi and Yagao pushing in this top lane. They want to try and crack open these inhibitor turrets, tier 2 towers, so then it's easier for them to get vision control for these objectives.
Look at the bottom wave. Doomby's just left the first wave and is pushing in this second one, as it's going to be crashing in 2 different areas here against Zoom.
And this is why we highlighted Doinby on the side lane pressure, because no one can deal with him right now. He's far too large. You've no magic resist on Zoom. Yagao has been completely, not bullied out, but unable to stop Doinby on these roams. And now Doinby can take over just on this side lane.
We're getting a comparison between him and Yagao here. This game, Sonya's Hourglass has been picked up, as you can see. So 3rd item there with the Merc Treads you wanted to see picked up alongside it. And normally this is a place where we'd see the Righteous Glory. And as Doomby has explained in the past, it's about that mid-game tempo swing. but he's gone for more scaling here in the Sonya's Hourglass itself.
And I would have loved for Yagao to go towards more scaling. Picking up the Morellonomicon delays the likes of that Rabadon's Death Cap. It means that he doesn't have the same burst potential I would have loved to see him go for, especially with the tanky and the health stats that Doinby has. Plus, when you look at LWX, if you can pick him off quickly and burst him out, it'll be a JDG favorite fight no matter what happens.
I wonder what happens here, though, because Doinby is going to be found out by Zoom, the showstopper used, but that's the whole combo.
Yeah.
Haymaker's going to be coming through shortly, but Doinby trying to cut this one out. Here it comes down the middle. He goes golden in the nick of time, though. Flashes away from the showstopper again. No! You can't face break what isn't dead. Doinby with the one-on-one.
And we expected this already, and now LWX pushing in this mid lane. JDG are starting to crumble under the pressure. Crispo in no man's land.
I mean, he's walking between Gimgoons near him, though, but the rest of FPX are coming in. He dodges away from the dredge line of Lumao. LWXT and all together. Box is going down. TP from Doinby. JDG have walked into this trap. The death sentence doesn't connect, but now Doinby, the trap is set for him for Yagao. But the kickback onto 3. Season 10 hits again. LWX moves into the middle. JDG are low. Kanavi trying to carry it with Lumao, but there's no more damage. All of a sudden, it's another triple and an FPX win in a fight.
Doinby moves in towards the fight, does sacrifice his life, but the unleashed power from Yagao went into the Rise, who was already going to be a non-factor with how low his health bar was. Meant that they couldn't get the burst onto LWX, couldn't stop Gimgoon from taking over that fight. And you can see here, Chris, with a great turnaround, baits JDG in right as the teleport comes down. And even though he doesn't get the hook onto Yagao, when that unleashed power is done for, who do you try and get the burst out onto now?
My God.
And Tien, again, fantastic performances on this Lee Sin. Bullet time interrupted by Gimgoon, and it was JDG with no top laner there for them, losing the 4v5.
Triple kill over to Tien, so well deserved from that 3-man kick. Oh, most played Lee Sin here in the split, and you can see why. I mean, we saw it on the world stage. He then got put up there when he won the World Championship last year as one of the best Lee Sins here in the world. And we are seeing the better side of Tien here in this series, in this second game against Kanavi as FPX. However, cannot get caught out in the mid lane. JDG still with a 1k gold lead. Still a Baron on the map and still a soul to play towards. So if FPX want to take control of the second game, they have to find another big fight in front of this upcoming objective.
And if JDG can find a front-to-back fight here, it'll be pretty heavily in their favor. And that's why you can see them as this 5-man unit moving through. But FPX want to get on towards a flank.
Chris with a hook, Sonic Wave does connect, but Loom out, tanky enough with the Stone Plate still available.
So keep your eyes on Gimgoon here. He's going to try and get up and wrap around to get access into that backline. We talked about Gimgoon, his backline destruction. He can most certainly do that with the items he's picked up on this Renekton.
But he's spotted out on a ward here. Going to be clearing that one away as Dragon started up by JDG. Soul on the line. The Death Sentence connects onto Zoom. Lumao goes in. Is it secured? Yes, by the Misfortune. So now the Mountain Soul and the kill onto Tien. FPX with the numbers disadvantage. LWX tries to get the poke over the wall, but Lumao flashes on top of him. The Dark Passage to save the day. LWX getting zoned away. No Severum for you, sir. It's only severing the ties as Doinby to carry this fight back in a choke. 1 versus 4. I don't think so. The Rise big, but even as he goes golden, Yagao's waiting. Doinby will take one to the deathbed with him, but meanwhile Loken makes the ace complete with our 3rd triple of this game too.
Loken was huge in that fight. Gets the bullet time off that tears through FPX's health bars, but also manages to flash forward, kills LWX, sets up the damage onto Doinby, and finishes off Crisp.
And suddenly JDG have the wheels turning in their favor this game. Tien walking up towards the Baron, but JDG looking to reset, bait this one in, and go once again.
These fights are on a knife's edge. Yagao,
Yoink.
not able to get it, but this is JDG playing their damnedest in these fights to take them all. And watch here. You can see Loken, this massive bullet time thanks to that depth charge. And although he moves away from Gimgoon, the damage has already been done. Crisp is incredibly low. Lumao flashing over onto LWX. Now watch Loken here. Flashing forward onto LWX, finishes off the Aphelios, and then with the CC chain that can come through from the rest of JDG, they're able to chase down onto Doinby. JDG played this fight so well.
You know that Drake meme, man? Loken on top of esports, nuh-uh. Loken on JDG, that's the one, baby, pointing straight towards him. 6-1-2, this is his game now against LWX. And again, for JDG, they have the gold lead, they have the momentum back in their swing. Baron's sitting there, they have the Mountain Soul in their back pocket. They've got an Elder on the horizon as well. And for FPX, now it comes down to this.
A lot used in that last fight though. Flashes burned galore from Loken and Lumao. Still no flashes onto Kanavi Yagao. It's all about Zoom. Maybe he can find disengage if FPX are going to contest.
Spotted out with the Scrying Orb. TP going to be used here. That is Gimgoon coming in for the flank. Doomby in the mid-wave, moving himself. Baron getting low. FPX have to make the move. It's up to Tien for the steal. 2,700 is behind the pit they stand. JDG pull off the Baron. It resets a little, but they're going back. Damage still there. Sonic Wave keeps it from resetting again. Baron goes back up. The play stop.
JDG can't contest or continue on towards the Baron because of Gimgoon's threat on the side lane. Flash nearly up as well for him, so they decide to back away. It will give FPX control of this vision. So JDG, teleport burned, and now Doinby with his own teleport can keep a lot of pressure on the side lane and allow FPX to play towards the Baron.
I guess when you're a Ryze, you're an Aphelios, if you can pull JDG off that Baron, if you can keep this time going, then you find that fight with the Ryze fully enabled. You find the Aphelios big 5-man ulti that we saw before in the trade topside. This
is what I love about Gimgoon though. Consistently getting into these flank positions, creating pressure in these fights, and hard choices for the enemy team. And when JDG are trying to rush this, they've invested resources like that teleport into making this play happen. You need Gimgoon burning his own teleport to keep JDG in check and make sure that they're not pushing their advantage even further, as minuscule as a right is right.
I just love that TPs on the top laners are in the exact same cooldown pretty much as well, right? We've also got Yagao and Doomby who are going to be synchronized when Yagao gets his TP up. And a game that's about the Dumpling Brother duo mixed with Loken now. Continues to go forward with 2 minutes on the Elder coming up.
Yagao will struggle in the side lane against Doinby though.
Okay.
Banshee's Veil completed for Doinby, so that initial burst isn't going to be anywhere near as heavy as you would like to. Compounded with that Seraph's Embrace, the shields, the Zhonya's Hourglass, Yagao is going to lose out if he goes up 1v1 against Doinby. So JDG, you can see grouped as a 5-man unit, trying to force FPX to burn their own teleports and make sure that they can at least weather this tempo advantage that FPX have gained.
But you can see like the QSS from Loken as well, just to come back, as we see Loken really going against Crisp and Doomby's Rune Prison. And I bet you LWX versus Yagao, if Yagao ults him, he's pretty much dead. I bet he hates that, even with the Phantom Dancer, as Gimgoon is being a sneaky snake. The Croc wants to bring in the Magician.
And this is a play they can go for because you got Doinby's TP. 2 people committed to this bottom side. If they kill Yagao, will still allow for a 4v4 at the Baron. This is so smart by FPX, using the teleport advantage in their favor.
Doomby now shows himself. You talked about it. Yagao's going to back away from that wave. TP being used. JDG want to force this one, Dagda.
They're calling the bluff. Now you've got Doinby to use his teleport. Now JDG front to back fight once again.
But Gimgoon has to walk up. It is a 4 versus 5 until they get into the pit. 5k now. Gimgoon joins. All members are here. 3k. Aphelios in the back of it as well. Tien looking for the steal. They want a 50-50 into the pit. And he steals it. FPX with the Baron here. Zoom low in the pit wall. In, out goes Chris. Tien tries to escape. Flashes over for the Unleashed Power. Gets him 4 for 5. But FPX with Baron. And now going towards the Elder.
They don't have a jungler though, so they need to back away. Look at where the waves are for JDG though. Even though they've got the man advantage, they can't try and get anything on the map right now because of the wave state. So JDG will be able to push in and then look towards Elder Dragon, but Tien would not be up for this Elder.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I saw them go on bot and I'm like, oh boy, let's cake and eat it too, huh? Baron in hand, Elder spawning though. And we're still at that 1 fight capacity.
There's no unsealed spellbooks this game. This is just Kanavi with his smite. This should be JDG.
Loken with BT. Look at that shield, man. As Gimgoon around the backside here. Dragon is getting pushed on down. You can see LWX doesn't have his ulti available. Here comes one from Loken, though. That zones him away. Elder picked up by Jingdong Gaming.
It's only about 30 seconds difference between the Baron and the Elder buff, though. So the FPX will be able to use this Baron buff to slow down the advance of JDG. So it's going to make it very difficult for anything to be gained for JDG off of this Elder play. But you see here, Tien on the Lee Sin, even with the level disadvantage, able to pick up the smite and get that Baron so crucially in favor of FPX.
Feels like a really early smite from Kanavi as well. So all that's said and done, the jungler who had a level disadvantage to pick it up there from Tien has put FPX, as you said, in a really good position as Realm Warp towards the turret, bring the minions. It's a party at this inner.
Because JDG have committed to the bottom side. Doinby's trying to accelerate himself on this top lane to make this an uneven trade for JDG.
But with the Baron buff, you can see how quickly this Ryze pushes it. However, JDG with the pressure from Elder in their hand are going to keep going forward.
Doinby is back though. Zoom has his teleport available, so now JDG looking to try and use this Elder buff, but minions cleared out so easily by FPX. JDG can't do very much.
Zoom has the TP if this evolves into anything else. Ward put down. JDG, however, are going to keep the push up. They're waiting for the next wave.
JDG moving forward. Look at Lumeo trying to get in position for a hook. That's the
There
teleport to keep the minions alive. This is fantastic from JDG.
Okay, they're going to take the inhibitor and the inhibitor turret as well. Seems like this push just goes forward and JDG are like, let's end. Okay, FPX still have the Baron buff available. This could be greedy. Kanavi gets boned out a little bit there. And the defense solid for now.
We are approaching that point where FPX can win team fights. JDG, this is incredibly risky. Doinby does a lot. LWX has got a bunch of crit in his kit right now.
It's funny, this is what happened during the regular season game number 1. JDG went too far and FPX punished them. First Nexus turret is going to drop down there. The bullet time doesn't really hit anyone. Off on the side, Tien finds himself into Yagao, but doesn't make the engage. Scatter the weak to zone out. And JDG know better this time around. They've learnt from their mistakes. They're going to back away after taking everything else.
They got the Nexus turret though, which is, they're not done. They're not done, Mysterix. They want more.
Okay, I think they're done. I think they're looking for FPX to walk around the corner.
So here we go. I like that they've got the Nexus turret here because what it does is create even more pressure on that bottom side. You can't have the Nexus turrets firing away in these super creeps and keeping your Nexus safe for a little bit longer. Now Gimgoon or Doinby will permanently need to be on this bottom side to deal with these super creeps. And although we don't have the likes of the Baron up for another 2 minutes, it'll still be that inhibitor down when that Baron spawns, with super creeps potentially pushing into the bottom side.
Still with JDG at this game, they still have the gold lead at this point as well, right? The Mountain Soul we talked about, the Elder now expiring, Baron coming up in 2 minutes, Elder in 3. So we put that timer on our clock once again. And FPX not out of this one just yet, but for JDG, things are looking good.
And look at the items that FPX have picked up right now. We talked about LWX nearly picking up his last item. He's started work on that one. You're looking towards Doinby as well, who's managed to hit full build. Yep. This Ryze is massive. So when JDG were building this pressure off of the mid-game spike that they had, now FPX, if they can find the fight in their favor where they can get a flank for Gimgoon and Doinby, JDG will be the ones in trouble.
Just note though that LWX isn't towards that last item himself where he would like to be here. For what seems to be the final fight coming up, where Loken with the BT has all items accounted for here. JDG hovering around Baron for now. Scuttlecrab has been secured by FPX. They're looking for the bait.
This is something JDG will do a lot. They'll pretend that they've gone over towards the Baron to get vision down and hide in this bush just off of mid lane. However, there's wards in the pit over towards Baron, so FPX will know that this is going to be happening, and even having that Scuttle Crab, JDG, you can't fool FPX.
Gives that time for LWX to get closer and closer to what seems to be a Mercurial Scimitar coming alongside the other items already completed. Has now the QSS.
Doinby has his teleport. Split pushing in this bottom lane.
True.
Nobody from JDG has their own teleport available, so Doinby's free to go for this.
Just
but JDG are just grouping to push. They calling it saying we can push faster on an inhibitor turret than Doinby can on a tier 2.
This happens every time Doinby's in a side lane and JDG say, we make the proactive call. Gimgoon's been spotted out on this flank here and the Death Sentence connects onto a minion instead. Inhibitor now exposed.
The good news for FPX, though, is they've shoved that minion wave fully in on the bottom side, so it'll be a long time before super creeps are knocking on the door of their Nexus. It's about buying time for FPX to fight for this Baron.
But now, with Baron here, started up by JDG and the ward denied, it's going down rapidly fast. Okay, we're going to bring 3 people in. That's not a good ulti from Doinby. There goes the jungle GA. Game2's coming in now. They're at a disadvantage with the flash away already. And FPX are walking into this trap. Tien kicks him away while LWX gets the space created, but they turn on Crisp. And FPX just send people in to die.
Doinby's ultimate was a death sentence. Now Yagao playing keep away with FPX, trying to stop them from backing, using the pressure of the super creeps in the bottom lane. But
there goes Baron.
There we go, JDG. Now you've got no inhibitor on the bottom side. Inhibitor without a tower in the mid lane. This is JDG stamping control once again.
And that's a move out of FPX we've seen during the regular season, where FPX, they had these games or two that looked a bit uncoordinated, where communication wasn't that world championship level of 2019.
I love that JDG are keeping Yagao and Lumao on the map here to make sure FPX can't turn and try and rush down this Elder Dragon. Now you've got a Baroned up JDG that are turning towards this Elder Dragon. It's a 1-2 combo that they can use to close out this game.
Okay, it's going to be started up here. The Mountain sold up team are drawing in FPX, everyone alive. Crisp not with the fight just yet.
Look at the super creeps though. JDG can just play with Elder while the super creeps are putting work onto the Nexus turrets of FPX.
They just let it reset. They're pulling in the inhibitor under fire. Someone has to go back and respond, and it's Game2. And so now JDG say, let's start this up. Tien needs another steal here, but a scatter the weak from Yagao, unleash power. Tien goes golden, but meanwhile that'll be fine. The bullet time almost finishes him off as Dragon resets once again. Redemption coming in to heal them up, but over the wall the poke comes through. Kanavi has the fight. He still has fight, but there goes Tien. He wanted a steal, but again, Yagao just dictated that fight.
JDG play the mind game with FPX, making them force out the tough decisions, and unfortunately FPX, when it comes to the crunch, they fail.
Setting up for the barrel of a 2-0. Tien now 35 seconds till he comes back to Summon's Rift. They have a 4 versus 5. They're running at this one to end.
There's only a single Nexus turret. Why wouldn't you go for this Game2 with the flank for the last time?
They flash on in, it's Bloom out to start off, and immediately Crisp is deleted once again. The showstopper in the backline onto Doomby, and he's not pumping out damage, so that's the win. They unleash the Dragon's Fury again with the second triple here over to Loken. He makes it a quadra, and they make that match point here against FunPlus Phoenix.
JDG